What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Call Her Holy. I'm Laura Eldridge.
And I'm Nicoletta Bradley.
We're in San Diego,
Yeah,
baby.
we are, baby. What is it from the Anchorman? San Diego. Is that right? Am I crazy to say that?
Nico quoting the Anchorman is so funny.
I'm like, I swear that he said something like that. Like,
it's like good morning, isn't it?
Good morning, San Diego. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, San Diego.
And it's like, I've never seen it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says.
But I think people say that all the time.
Yeah.
With
Absolute
our girl,
posers.
you know what? We're gonna let you introduce yourself because we already, introduced Anchorman and Heather Martin. You are so cute, so sweet. Like we were just saying, like we love when we meet people and we're like, wait, let's be actual friends
We're
because
friends.
I love you. So,
Oh my goodness.
tell us 3 things that only your closest friends know.
My closest friends now? Ooh, okay.
We're really just like putting you on the hot seat from the get-go.
I don't know if my closest friends know this, but a lot of people don't know. I'm addicted to Coca-Cola. That's like one
Diet or regular?
regular. I'm a regular girl.
Okay.
I'm a regular girl
A good
too.
Y'all are crazy. Craziness.
I'm always trashing her for the diet, but I know we have some loyal Diet Coke fans.
I know.
who-
The Diet Coke fans are really
Diet
loyal.
Coke people
How
are like
often
they are.
do you have a Coca-Cola is the question.
Oh, twice a day.
Shut
Stop.
up. You're one of those girls.
No, I like with lunch and dinner. I know, it's a problem.
Okay, like on tap? Is that how you
I mean,
say it?
that's
Like
preferred.
from,
That's
She's like, I've got
preferred.
it on tap.
is
in
it
my
on
house.
tap or like from the bottle or a can?
I always preferred on tap, but I'll take a bottle. Okay, a good Mexican Coke is truly my favorite, like in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, I mean mostly I do cans if I'm like at home.
I love it.
That's more sad. So, anyways, I don't know.
Okay, that's a good one. That was a good one.
fact.
Yeah.
What else that only my closest girlfriends know? I don't know. I mean, I think I'm a lot like more quirky and weird to like my close circle.
That's fun.
People
Feel
don't.
That's a
that
great
deeply.
quality.
I feel that deeply.
Honestly, like I feel like if you're not weird, like you're actually weird.
No, you're
You know what
weird.
I mean?
If you're not weird, you're boring.
Yeah.
If you're like
Truly. If
super
you're
normal,
normal,
you're
yeah,
like
like,
something's wrong here.
something like
That's a
that.
serial
Are you
killer
like
shit.
that?
Yeah.
I remember a girl in college. I'll never forget. I started like kind of like testing the waters, like kind of doing a silly voice, and she'd be like,
Like,
and then we
like
became
she didn't
friends,
like it.
and I was like, "You're the most normal person I've ever met in my entire life," and
Are
she
you
was
well?
also the most boring.
Was
Totally,
she
totally.
offended? If someone says I'm normal, I get kind of offended because I'm like, I'm not. You don't know. Like I'm not.
You mean you're like, I'm not
I'm not. I
mediocre.
promise. I promise. But it does take a little bit. So I think like
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You told me offline you're single,
Yes.
so I relate to that because I feel like it's rare that if you really get to see my goofy side in dating relationships, it's not for a while. Are you someone
Oh my
that's
gosh.
goofy right off the bat?
0%.
Okay,
That
I
is
was
then
gonna
like
say,
my
it takes,
biggest
like, a
struggle.
warm-up.
It takes a big, especially in dating.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. Like I think maybe I'm more guarded as a human in general, but yeah, in dating relationships, like, yeah, you just won't see it for a little bit. Certain personalities bring it out obviously more
Totally.
than others,
If
but
they're a weirdo right away, you're like,
you feel comfortable
It
that
makes
you're
you
a
feel
weirdo.
free, yeah.
Yes, you feel the freedom. But yeah, no, a lot of the time it's like takes a lot for me to be, and then I hate that because then I feel like I'm not being my normal self, and it's not that I don't want to, but yeah.
Ladies,
some time.
ladies, let me tell you something.
tell us old
From
wise
the married
sage.
old lady.
Tell us, mama.
Honestly, like it was so annoying when people would tell me like just be yourself, just be yourself. I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? Who is myself anymore? Because it like feels like different guys bring out different things about
Totally.
you.
100%.
And you're like, what do you mean just be myself? And like once I met Colby and we started like really connecting, well, we had met, but anyways, once we really started dating, it was just like there was nothing that I had to try or
Really?
like it just felt so natural.
That's so encouraging.
So
to
there's
hear.
hope for us.
There's hope.
Heather, is
So
what I'm
like
hearing.
sometimes- one day it might just like one day it might just be like, oh, I'm not even thinking about how I'm acting, or like
It just makes sense.
it's just like I'm just existing and enjoying him. You know what I mean?
Which I love that because that's encouraging to hear because I feel like I'm like, is it just something wrong with me or is it like I just am not comfortable early on or what is it? But obviously those past relationships haven't worked out. So it's like maybe just haven't met the right person that brings it out.
We can dive
Okay.
into that. I want to dive into that. But we haven't heard your third thing, and
Yeah,
I know
girl.
there's some Type A people listening. Like, what's number 3?
Oh my gosh, that's number 3. Okay, I'm trying to think. It's so hard for only closest girlfriends.
Or maybe for the people that didn't watch you on The Bachelor, maybe that's where we don't know about you.
I was gonna say another one
Me.
weird one I just thought of. Another weird one is I shower in the pitch black and
Same.
no way.
No way.
Pitch black.
Pitch black.
Sometimes
No
my daughter
way.
will come in there with me, and she'll be like, "Can you turn the light on?"
Yes,
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
no,
what's
babe.
wrong with you? I like also blast music in pitch black.
And is it like your time to
It
just
is
like
my time.
But what if you fall?
Like I know
your
where
eyes
everything
adjust?
is.
Your eyes adjust.
Yeah,
too.
well, even if it's like dark,
You're
like
like-
even without a window, like I like know my stuff.
Where's the razor?
Like I find it before. Literally.
You're like, cut myself
So
again.
odd. Oopsie, worth it.
She's like, worth it. I'm
dark
vibing.
and
I'm vibing
serene.
so hard right now.
Please tell me that was in your Bachelor application that you shower in the dark. Did
I
you have
don't
to give
think
like
it was.
interesting facts?
But that
Okay,
is a fun
but what
fact.
is it for you? Is it because it's like Zen,
Yeah, it's totally my like Zen.
like your
mode,
worship?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like a time when like I'm like in my thoughts completely that I don't think about anything else. So.
At my bachelorette party, it was a room of probably like 30 girls from different seasons of life. Like people, like most people just hadn't met and like they didn't know each other from different states and things like that. And one of the girls goes, raise your hand if you've held hands with Laura in the bathtub with the candles lit and the lights off while it was so specific. And it was like while playing Etta James at Last and she's crying over some guy. And like literally the entire room like raised their hands. I was like, wow, I'm either so predictable or like
That is
people know
hilarious.
like my baths or my showers. You know what I mean?
It's like your time.
I'm like
That is so funny. So like it was a universally your friend experience.
that specifically. Like if you're in my close circle, I've
done
probably cried over some guy and you've held my hand in the bathtub because I need to be in the shower or the water. You know what I mean?
That is hilarious.
Sadly, that was before my era of
I love
knowing you,
that.
but I met you when you were thriving.
Yeah, there you go.
Married and thriving. But okay, Heather, we need the people to know that you are now a dear friend of ours. You are blonde. You're in the club.
I
and
love it. I'm part
I
of the
feel like
club.
I'm a fake blonde, but I feel like you
Color
guys are
holy
natural blondes. I'm here for it.
No, I highlight my hair too. So.
You're like, we're all fake. But you were on The Bachelor. So that is maybe how people have seen you before.
Yes.
Know your face. But really, truly, our hope for today is to get to know Heather behind the scenes. Get to know Heather behind The Bachelor. Get to know also the secrets of The Bachelor because I want to know all the secrets of the
Nicola
show.
loves
Like, I love
reality
the tea.
TV tea.
I love the tea.
I
I
love
strangely didn't watch your season, which is crazy. I forgot you were on Colton's, but then you were on Matt's. But I feel like there's so many things I could ask you. But tell us like a little bit about going from that experience to being 29, and we were kind of joking around singleness, and want to hear like where you're at in that, how you can know the Lord, whatever you want to tell the audience.
Yeah, I mean, for The Bachelor, like I had this weird deep knowing since I was 15 that I was going to go on The Bachelor.
Shut
it was
up.
like this weird.
I did too, but it didn't happen. That's so weird.
Y'all.
There's still time. There is still time. There's always another Bachelor.
Be on The Bachelor.
I'm also like,
No.
was The Bachelor out when I was? Definitely was not out when I was 15. So I just like
I think, I mean, it's been around.
been forever.
I'm-
You definitely were still. You
Yes.
were still alive. You definitely existed when it was still on.
okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was like, this was, I don't know, probably like it was a while after it started. Anyways, I walked past like my friends and sisters watching it, and I walked past and I was like, I didn't even know the show, and I was like, I'm gonna be on that show. Like, I knew.
That is so
So
funny.
weird. I don't know why. And so, yeah, then I graduated college. Like, I like had this whole plan. And I honestly don't even know why I wanted to. Like, it was just like something that I was like, this was going to happen. And so, yeah, I applied to be on the show and was like, this is going to happen. Like, I had to trust. Like, I'm like, God, let's do it. And I did it. And it was such like it was an amazing experience. I think I just wholeheartedly thought that I was there for a reason. I knew how God had a purpose for me there. And so I think it was like the first time where I was like fully reliant on the Lord and like, I didn't have my sisters to go to. I didn't have my parents. I didn't have my close girlfriends. And I was like, the Holy Spirit just like led me for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was like huge pivotal, I think, in my life. Because I think
For people who don't know though, you don't have your phone. You're like basically isolated from everyone.
you're
right?
isolated. You're literally, you don't know anyone, obviously.
Yeah.
None of the girls. You don't know the guy. You kind of like, no one really has your best intentions. At least
Yeah,
that's
they're
kind of,
not
no one
looking out for
really
you,
does.
yeah.
No. And so, yeah, it was the first time I was like, I'm truly on my own. I have the Lord and that is it. Like,
Wow.
who do I trust? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it was like such a cool experience for me because I was 22, so I was pretty young.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, I felt that I was there for a reason. So I just felt this like freedom that I was gonna be like, the Holy Spirit was gonna lead me. And I really feel like that happened. And my whole story was that I had never been kissed. So I was 22, never been kissed. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing on here?
22 is so young now that I hear that. I'm like, 22, you're such a baby. But I know at 22, you're like, I've never been kissed. I am so old. I totally get
Especially
that.
Were
in
you
that
confident about
culture.
it?
I was confident
Yeah.
about it, like especially in my like circle. But going on the show, I was like, I'm gonna be like own this. There's nothing like
Yeah.
it's not like I couldn't have been kissed or
Totally,
like it
totally.
was just like I made that choice and so yeah, I was confident about it, but it did feel like weird. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go share this in front of everyone and then I
Yeah.
have to like I don't know. It was like this weird, crazy experience. But I think from that, yeah, I've now moved into like content creation, which I never would have thought I would have done. And it's just been like such a whirlwind of an experience. But yeah, the Lord has led me in so many different ways, and it's been really, really cool.
I love it. Tell us how you came to know Jesus.
So I was raised in a Christian family. So my parents always took us to church and really instilled that in me and my two sisters since like a really young age. And I don't think I have like, I do remember one specific moment where I think I was like in church listening to Here I Am to Worship. I think that's the whole song. And I was like, I think that was like my like, I think I remember like that was like the time where I was like, which I was like probably like 5, which is so funny that I still remember it. But it was, I think like it's just like kind of been part of my life. And I really do think I've had that like deep faith in the Lord since I was little. And I think obviously throughout the seasons it's grown and changed and developed. But I have so many little stories of like when I was little, like I think one of the spiritual gifts I have is faith, and like the Lord just like revealing himself to me through these like little moments and like showing me that he's listening and he's there and all those things. So yeah, that's kind of how I was raised and still am now. So
I love it. Do you have like moments in your life where you're like, hey, this is actually probably a really hard moment that kind of like defined my faith or like sharpened it in another way?
I do think that the show was, I mean, I think high school was an interest. I went to like a giant high school where I think that was like the first time in my life where my friends were going one way, and then like that I was friends with in middle school and elementary school. And then I was like, what am I going to do? Like they're making decisions that I'm like, I don't want to make. And so I like had to like, I think that was like probably the first moment where I'm like, I have to stand in either my convictions or what I believe or go a different way. And I think that was really defining and being like, no, I want this. And I think that led to like lonely seasons in high school where I'm like, I'm not with all the crew and I'm not with like, you know, the most popular people. And I kind of have to like figure out different friendships from what I had. But I think that developed like such a confidence and like strength that I've like been able to carry with me to now. So
I love that.
Okay, so The Bachelor. Why was that such a pivotal moment for you?
I think that was pivotal because it was like what I was saying before. I felt called to it in this deep sense of knowing, and I cannot even describe it. Like people ask me, I'm like, I don't even know. It was just this deep sense of knowing. And so I knew the Lord had me there, but I was like terrified. And I was like, why? What am I doing? Like, what do I have to gain from this? Like, but I just knew. And so I think I just had to fully trust. And not go to other people or not trust in, because I have such a good support system. So I was like, I have to, it's like me and the Lord. There's no one else. And like that trust like gave me so much freedom that I never like had experienced because I didn't have to trust. Like I'm like the type of person who always goes to other people for opinions. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And like seek wise counsel. And I think there's positive to that, but I also think like it never forced me to just rely on him and like go to him first and foremost and the only like thing to go to. So I think that's why that grew me so much, and that like that changed my relationship with him even now.
Talk about that for a second, because I feel like there are people who genuinely, and we've said this before, like there's a whole like throne before phone. I don't know, Nicoletta loves pithy sayings.
Not the dumb ones, Laura. The ones that are actually legit.
You have the best amazing sayings, and she's like,
I love that.
I ripped this off from this person or that person. She's always like, I listened to a podcast.
Sometimes they're
Throne
inspirational.
Before Phone is from my mentor, Lo Baptista.
Wait, what is it?
Throne Before Phone.
Throne before phone.
Yeah, so it's like how many
like
times do we go to our friends before we actually end up going to the Lord, and the only place we end up having peace is if we actually sit with Jesus.
So true.
It's like how many times have you called somebody when you're like, should I break up with them or should I not, blah, 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 and you just go in this circle. You literally never feel better. You never have a resolution until you actually sit with Jesus and you're like, no, Lord, what is your will for my life? Like you give me peace. You give me direction because my friends gave me a different opinion on every single one of them.
And
now
everyone
I
has
have
different opinion.
voices.
Yes.
Exactly. And like clarity comes from the Lord alone.
So true.
And so I like say that to myself all the time of like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what to do. I'm just going to call my friend. I'm like, have I talked to Jesus about this first?
Yeah.
And if I haven't, I don't call them.
That's so true. And I think it's easier to call your friend because it's quick. You know
Totally.
they're going to get an answer. Like sometimes you have to really sit with the Lord and be like,
And wait.
and that's hard.
But
It
who's
is
the
hard.
mighty
Yeah.
counselor? Like, who
Yeah,
is
and it's the best.
ultimate helper? Like, not your friend.
100%.
Not, like, it doesn't matter if they got their counseling degree.
Yeah.
The ultimate counselor is the king of the universe.
And he's all knowing. Like he knows what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
so
so
he's
true.
he's going to give you really good advice because
So
he's like, I
true.
know this is not your husband, so I'm going to give you a lack of peace, and then you can move forward. So
Yep.
my question for you then is, why do you think he put you on? Just to build that faith? Or did you bring girls to the Lord? Did you start a Bible study? Like, what was the reason, if you were to look back going, to the best of my knowledge, I feel like this is why I was there?
Yeah, I think because of that sense of like, I knew I'm supposed to be there, I had this freedom of like, I usually would be afraid to like have these conversations or like plan out these conversations about the Lord with like people who aren't believers or all these things. Like I'm kind of such like I have to be prepared, I have to plan. And I just had this freedom where I had so many conversations with girls in the house. I'm like, wow, like how are these conversations happening? We were without phones. So we're like, all we have to do is chat. And so like, so many genuine questions from girls that just like came up naturally. Like I was doing devotions with girls and it was just like such like, even with some of the producers,
incredible.
we'd have like these live conversations and like, how is this happening? Like,
Yeah.
and they were definitely not believers and not really even interested in it. But like, because of this scenario, like the interest was piqued. And, yeah, so I think that was the reason. I think I'm like, okay, if this is all that it is, and I wasn't even on the show, like just being in there with these conversations, like was worth it.
Yeah.
And then I also think my story of having never been kissed, I didn't really know, like I didn't plan that was going to be like an impactful thing. I was just
Yeah.
more like, whatever, this is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share this. But I think after the show, the amount of messages and like things that came through from young girls who are like, I'm in this situation too. And this like gave me so much like peace knowing I'm not the only one and like I'm allowed to wait or like I
Yeah.
didn't think that I could and like I had to say yes to
Wow.
things that I didn't want to because I'm not comfortable yet or I didn't feel I was right but like I just wanted to be like everyone else. Like I didn't think there was anyone who was 22 and
Yeah.
hadn't been kissed. So I think that even just
Yeah.
that story in and of itself was like super impactful and something that I feel like God had me there for.
I love that. I think that there's something really special about what you just said, both of those things, because I feel like everyone right now is, not everyone, but a lot of people are like trying to pursue a platform and can be like, hey, I feel called to something like The Bachelor because I feel like that's going to grow my platform, or I feel called to whatever, so I just need to build my platform. Not saying that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like God tests motives and everything. Like we can never do anything perfectly. But I love that when Nicoletta asked why, like the two things you said weren't like, oh, just because I have this incredible voice that people need to hear from me. It was one, the conversations that I was having off camera. Like, who knows if God had destined that one producer, that one girl who's on the show,
Yeah.
who knew they're uniquely going to hear the gospel more clearly and receive it in a way that is like that another person wouldn't be able to share with them, you know? So what if God brought you on for that one conversation that you
Totally.
have no clue the impact that's gonna
Yeah.
have? And the other thing you said was that you didn't even know this part of your story was gonna be impactful. You were just telling the truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so liberating because I think so often we're just trying to figure out what is God doing? How can I be used? What's my purpose
Totally.
in life? And it's really like, oh, I'm just being faithful and I'm stepping into the next scenario knowing like, okay, I've just chosen to follow Jesus and this is what I've done.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. It's like so much more simple than it, like it doesn't have to be so complicated. Like the Lord has you where he wants you and just be who you are and who he's made you to be. I think there's so many more overcomplicated things. I'm like, no, we're just here.
So simple.
Let's do it. Yeah.
No, I've even been thinking about that too as like a teacher. I've gone through all this different training and my church just like has such a high bar of excellence and different speaking gigs lately. I've been like, just preach the gospel. Like it's just
Totally.
that simple.
Totally.
Just share the gospel.
Yeah. It's so profound, but it's so simple.
Yeah.
Which you do a great job at, Laura. But I want to ask another question, Heather, and this is going to be bold. So
Oh
feel
gosh.
free.
Oh no.
You ready?
Oh gosh.
You ready?
We're friends.
Were you a people pleaser?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
I think I am a people pleaser. Like I want to make sure everyone's okay, everyone's happy. but I'm not like, I will say what I think at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, because the reason I'm asking is like you gave some significant moments in your life of like my friends were going in this direction and I wanted to go in this direction. And then, you know, like going on The Bachelor and like I feel like I've seen this theme of like really standing in your true identity. But then my other question of that is like, did you struggle with man's approval on the other side of that? Because the opposite of walking in truth, walking in your identity, walking in confidence is the enemy's typical tactic is fear of man. And so is that part of your story? And let's say a girl's listening being like, I'm crippled by people's opinions, because reality is like The Bachelor, that is, you're on TV.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking at you.
Yeah.
Is that part of your story? And if so, how do you encourage someone that maybe is going through that?
Yeah. For some reason, I didn't have a fear, even in going to The Bachelor, like what people thought. I was like, I got a really good piece of advice from one of the producers who wasn't a Christian, but they were like, the people who know you and love you, and the people that are going to have opinions about you and don't know you, like you can't listen to like the good opinions or the bad opinions from those people, because they don't know you and they don't know your story. And so for some reason, I've never had, I think I've just been like so solidified in like what I'm doing and in who I am, that I haven't had that fear of like, I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's kind of just, I don't even know. I think that's just kind of a natural innate thing. I kind of, even through high school, I'm like, it's like, it is what it is if it's the truth. If I'm being fake or whatever and it's not the truth, which has happened, of course.
Yeah.
Totally.
Then I'm like more insecure. But I'm like, if this is really truly what I think and who I am, then like, it is what it is kind of thing.
Sometimes I feel like in our stories, we can hear people's testimonies that are like so radical of like, I was on drugs, I was like sleeping around, and you hear this miraculous God story and you're like, how could God do that? That's so awesome. And then you can almost feel like your own story is less entertaining or
100%.
less like whatever. And honestly, I'm listening to that thing saying like, thank God for protecting you, you know? That is
Totally.
just as much of a God story. If you've been protected and shielded from that stuff because of your faith at a young age, because God started instilling wisdom in you and a desire to stand for the truth, you've been spared from all these different scars. And that is such a testament to the Holy Spirit and to God.
100%. Yeah, I know. Thank you for even saying that, because I was just actually talking to my sister about this. I'm like, sometimes I do wish, I'm like, I shouldn't be envying like this crazy testimony or like something where I like, what was this way and this way? But I'm like, but at times I'm like, I would love to have a story like that, but that just isn't my story. And we're just saying, thank you, Jesus, for allowing that for me to be raised in this way or have come to know you in such an early way, where that didn't have to happen. But yeah, I think there's so much wisdom in both, and in so many cool things that come through both stories. So,
But a lot of people actually have your story. So even one of my best friends, she is so embarrassed. She's never been kissed.
Oh, really?
She's like beautiful, never been kissed, never had a boyfriend. And she's like, I often feel so ashamed when I'm having conversations with women that are having these like going through deep things. And I'm sitting here like, I followed Jesus since I was 5 and my parents prayed the prayer over me. I've never had sex, rock and roll, drugs, alcohol, none of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's interesting because it's like the enemy will shame you for the mistakes you've made, or he'll shame you for the mistakes you haven't made.
So true.
It's like you're at a loss no matter what. And so I guess
true.
what is the solution?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure.
It's a
I mean,
word,
I have
Nico.
lots
It's so
of things
true.
to say to that, but
because
it's
sometimes
like,
like I have nothing to add. Like I don't know how. Like I haven't been through that experience. I'm like I don't have wisdom to add into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like an insecurity for sure.
totally.
What's crazy is like sometimes wisdom is hard earned, it's learned, and sometimes wisdom is given supernaturally.
Yes.
Like God really can provide wisdom.
Solomon.
Like
Yeah.
by not
Yeah.
making the mistakes, and then Solomon learned the hard way. Like
Totally.
you know, by racking up women and
Yes.
women and wealth and all the things that were not what God would have for him. So he
true.
he's a great example of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
true.
you can have wisdom without
totally
having
can.
learned the hard way. And what's so crazy is like I love the hard earned wisdom because you like almost learn it more solidified.
Yeah.
But I would never want my daughter to go through that.
Yes.
And
That's so good.
you know what I mean?
That's so good. Because think about it. You're sitting here like the enemies are going to shame you or shame one of my best friends. Like, you're a good story. If I had a daughter, I'm begging him, begging Lord Jesus, give her Heather's story.
Exactly.
I don't want my
Exactly.
daughter to go through. I mean, you know my story. It is eating disorders. It is boys. It is booze. It is drug. It is everything. And I'm sitting here going, by God's grace, he's allowed me to build ministries off of my pain. But
yes.
please, Lord Jesus, if I have children one day, spare them from learning the hard way, because
Yes.
your story is beautiful. And at the throne, like at the feet of Jesus, we are equal. There is no like, you, man, good for you. You went through hell.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, that's literally crazy that we're sitting here measuring Christians based on their trauma.
It's so
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Like, man, they're such good Christians because they went through hell, but they came back. It's like, no, that isn't a measure of faith.
Yeah.
Like, faith is like what you said. Hey, I will be on The Bachelor one day. Like, that's crazy faith to say I'm gonna be on that one day. Like,
I feel like we need to clarify that a little bit, because some people are probably thinking that's a word.
But like to have faith in a way of like, man, like God, like I just feel like the Lord's gonna do that. Like,
Yeah, God
Yeah.
kind of tapped you, and you're just like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just this weird, and I don't even know how to describe
But
it.
the difference,
yeah.
I think, there is like you didn't feel like you had to strive or this angst of
Totally.
like, why isn't it happening? Which can also like sometimes happen between, God kind of tapping something, and then later on it can happen years down. the road.
and there's that waiting season in between.
Yeah, and you're like,
when
what
is it
is
gonna happen?
happening?
Yeah.
That's real too. But
Yeah.
But okay, so then speak to that girl for a second. What would you tell the girl who's listening to this podcast right now? Maybe one that hasn't been kissed, but also doesn't have all this trauma in her past and loves the Lord. Speak to those two girls for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first, like, that hasn't been kissed. I'm like, I just think it's what a gift. Like, if you want to get married one day, some people don't. But I'm like, what a gift to be able to have this and only have that one person that you're with for your whole life. I'm like, I obviously, like, on the show, I kiss Colton, but
I mean, what a better first
so I
kiss than
can't
on
say that
national
wasn't-
TV.
oh my goodness. But I'm like, how special, and like, I don't think that anyone's gonna look back and be like, I waited and regret it. I haven't heard anyone who's like held back in physical ways at all and with their husband
So
and
good.
regretted it.
True.
Yeah. And it's just like such a special thing that I think that like those intimate moments, and it's not to say it's bad to kiss someone or whatever, but I'm like, I just think that's like such a special thing you can share with one person. And if it's only one person, my sister, little sister, she's married. She only kissed her husband. And I'm like, how cool is that? Like, and she's like, never like, oh, I wish I kissed some more boys before.
Yeah, I wish I had sex with like 18 guys before I walked down the aisle to my husband. Like, you will never say that.
Yeah, I think it's just something so special. And I think if something that like to be confident in and to be excited about, be like, I'm ready for like wherever the guy is. You know what I mean? It's like something that I think if you're confident in it, everyone else is too.
Yeah.
I think like your attitude towards whatever, and same goes with like your testimony.
Yeah.
Like you're confident in the choices and the blessing that God has bestowed upon you to like get to know him at a young age where it hasn't have to go through all this. I'm like, what a blessing to be able to give like that wisdom to people and just stand in that confidence, because people always respect like the confidence of like knowing who you are in the Lord is like whatever your story may be, like people respect that. So
I think there's something
So
really
good.
special though when girls like sitting wherever you are right now, like hearing from different people, because I think sometimes when you start identifying with someone and you've never really been able to label like, wait a second, I am feeling kind of insecure about my story. Now that you mention it, I feel more confident to just be like, yeah, I have waited. I have been courageous in all these other areas. And, you know, God has protected me. And now I have an extra little like, boost of courage to just go forth and not like shrink back because of that. Because I think sometimes when you
Totally.
don't feel like you've heard someone else with your story, you're like, wait,
Am I the weird one?
am I weird? Like,
Yeah.
is something okay? Like,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And there's lots of pressure from like outside sources being like, are you just too picky? Or, you know, there's so many different voices that we hear, like whether it be Christian culture or like regular culture, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that we emphasize what you just said. And obviously, you know, I'm passionate about this, Laura, but you talked about identity. And obviously, for those who follow Call Her Holy, you know that I literally have an identity ministry called Noble. But I'm like, the only thing that allows you to withstand criticism is because you were secure in your identity in Christ. And so for the person that's listening to, I want you to hear this loud and clear. If you are looking for a solution, like, oh man, I want to be confident in this. I want to figure out why, like, I want to get over heartbreak. I want to move on this. I want to figure this out. It's like, figure out who Jesus is and figure out what he says about you. Because when you are actually going like, man, my God is so proud of me. He is so for me. He loves me so much. When he looks at me, he's like, I delight in you. And I've been sitting just in the Psalms, like, because I'm reading through the Bible in a year. And I've been writing down, what are the characteristics of God in this? Like, what does it say about who God is? And it has been crazy how that carries me through the day when insecurities pop up. Like yesterday, I was reading, I don't remember what psalm, when you read through the Bible in a year, you read like 18 psalms in a day. And it was like, he delights in you. He's in control of your destiny, which I don't really like that word. It was a funny translation, but he's in control of your destiny and the timing of it. Okay, what does that mean? My God isn't withholding. Yeah. He's in charge of every single aspect of my life. He's in charge of my relationship status. He is not surprised that I'm not married yet. He's not surprised that I went through a breakup 2 weeks ago. Yeah. He is like, man, girl, I'm God. And I love you. And I delight in you. And there's this confidence that overcomes you when you're in a room with all your married friends with kids going, man, if I actually believe that God delights in me and he is powerful and he's good and he's kind, I'm no longer afraid. Yeah. Nor do I care about what you think about me. Yeah. Or what you say. And so I just like want to drill this into our listeners' ears because I'm like, man, take it from someone who's done it wrong. Take it from someone that has looked for the action steps, the to-dos, the devos, give me the handhold of what I can do. And it's been resting and letting God speak over me that has actually changed my life. And it kind of sounds like that's what you did on the show.
So true.
Right?
I resonate so much with that. Yeah. And even in the season, I think we're in similar seasons.
Yeah.
Like
single ladies.
Yeah, single ladies. But it's just like, sometimes there's so many outside voices and in your own voice and you're like, what's happening? I'm in this waiting season. I want it to happen next. And it's like, God is outside of time. He's outside of everything. And he literally knows the end from the beginning. It's like, so when you really like sit in that in like every morning, like I do that too. Like I have my little special, like my Devo time in the morning. I'm like, I sit in those truths. It's like, why would I ever be afraid? Like, why would I ever worry? Why would I ever stress? Like, he literally has it all. So it's like, we can just go about life, but it's like hard to do that. But so once you're sitting in that, you're like, it changes things.
I think so many people though, we start with a deficit, like we start with a void and without realizing you haven't found your confidence first thing in the morning, woken up and put your confidence in who God is, put your confidence in the person of Jesus Christ. And instead of starting with I, me, just like you, God, there's something so relaxing and calming and just being like, this is who you are.
Yes.
And then there's this void. So if you haven't done that, there's this void, this almost like this empty ego, if you will, that's now without realizing it, you're walking around to every circle you're in, wondering like, you're getting all this input of like, oh, I wonder if I should be like her. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe, I'm the only single girl in the room of a bunch of married people. Like, has God forgotten me? Because there's the space for that. But if you like in the morning, you take that space and you fill it with the scripture, fill it with the truth, fill it with who God is, then you're saying, wait, there's not a void anymore. And those little things that start chipping away at that space, you're like, oh, it's that time in the morning, that time with the Lord is then like kind of acting as a rebound. Those things can just bounce back right back off of it. Oh, no, I'm good.
It's like a cup analogy. If you think about it, if you fill it up in the morning with good things and truth, when lies start to come in, it's literally just
they flow out.
They flow out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like
true.
you have to actually visualize, like, what am I filling my cup with in the morning? And if you're filling it with insecurity, filling it with fear, there's going to be a lot more room for that thing to start to overflow, and you'll just cripple.
So true.
Compared to like, man, like I'm filled up. Like I know who God is.
Yeah. And it's forefront of your mind. And it has to be so intentional though, because it's so easy not to.
Yep.
But yeah, that is so true.
Let me ask you this. This is going to feel like a hard turn, but it kind of relates. What's your biggest insecurity?
I think I'm one of them. Probably I'm surrounded by so many like vivacious personalities, like my friendship. So like my friend group is like so outgoing, like out there live at the party. And so I think even like throughout college, like my best friend's like the most outgoing, amazing girl ever. And so it's like sometimes like I'm confident, but I'm not always like the loudest person in the room. So it's like trying to like, I don't have to be that. But like the insecurity of like, should I be this outgoing like speaker? Like that's not me. I've come to like I won't be a speaker on a stage. That's not who I'm gonna be. So I think that's probably been something that I've like struggled with, like finding like I don't have to be the most outgoing person in the room, but that's something I definitely have struggled with.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's yours, Nico?
Oh, girl, come on. Where are we going to start? I mean, I literally built a body image ministry off of struggling with body image. So I run a fitness, faith, and body image nonprofit.
Amazing.
So basically helping women overcome body image and eating disorders, all that good stuff.
Wow.
Which we're doing a retreat in October, y'all. You should come. I think it's on the website right now. But, just like the deep-rooted lie of like, if I'm not thin, I can't be loved.
Wow.
But like, I'm saying like thin when I was anorexic. So like that is the daily battle of like, okay, Nicola, your body's healthy. It is good today, and it doesn't need to go back to that size in order to be valuable, loved, and seen. What about you?
Mine honestly has changed in this season too. And
Yeah.
and honestly, like I relate to you because mine honestly is probably my body right now, just because of all the change that my body's been through with having kids and everything. I feel like the first kid, that really wasn't my thing. Nicoletta saw this. After my first kid, I had this like angst in me because I went from, I am the stage personality, if you will. And I went from that to now I'm sitting at home almost in this like quiet, like God forcing me to be quiet, forcing me to be back behind the scenes. And like doing things that were like felt really menial, but were really purposeful.
Yes.
And I just like wasn't the girl who grew up dreaming of like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be a stay-at-home mom. I was just like,
You wanted to go.
oh my God, yeah, like where are all the teams that I'm supposed to be leading? Like what's happening here? I'm like, can someone come let me like help counsel you or something? I don't know, like,
Come to my house.
bring me your problems, you know?
It's okay. She gets my phone calls. She's so good at access.
Totally. And our like simultaneously call her holy was so behind the scenes. You know, we're like in front of people, but nobody's here actually in the room. Like we're in your living room, but you're not in ours. And I want you in mine. I want to look at you face to face and know what you're struggling with. Anyway, so I had this like angst in me of like purpose almost. I like lacked purpose for the first time probably ever in my life as a mom, which some people say like that gives them purpose. So I was really insecure, if you will, about like, is God done with me? Am I forgotten? You know, that kind of thing. Will I ever use my gifts again? Am I just like done? And how I don't understand it, because God, I felt like you in a similar way, like I felt this calling on my life that is, I don't understand how it's not like there yet. But I would say the second kid, it's been like, oh my gosh, here we are again with my body. Like I don't know if I have the energy. I'm so tired keeping up with a toddler and a baby. I don't have the energy to grind the way that I know I would need to and I am, but anyways, like the body thing for me is like, oh my gosh, here we go again. I'm tired, God. I don't want to grind, but like, can you put me back in my old body?
In Jesus' name.
Jesus' name, just transport me. Give it that GLP-1. No,
I was gonna say no. I reject. There's kind of reject.
And not some of you guys are on it. Okay. I'm nursing. You know what I mean? We can have a whole different episode about that, but
okay, Heather, talk to us about singleness today. You're 29.
Yeah.
Single.
Just
my girl.
How I'm feeling or
what? Yeah, tell us about the season that you're in. What is God teaching you in singleness? You have two sisters. Are they both married?
Two sisters. My little sister's married. My older sister is not married. So she's in the same. She's 2 years older than me. So she just turned 32. It's been an interesting season of like, I feel like I thought I was going to be at this point. I went to a private Christian school. A lot of friends got married like when they graduated. So I think I was always like, I'm going to be 24 and I'm going to get married.
Didn't we all, girl?
Yeah. Like, it's just like, I think that's such a common theme throughout young Christian women. And so I'm like, then I went to The Bachelor and that was fun and exciting. And now I feel like I'm back in a season where it's like chill. And like, I've done so many crazy things. And now it's just like, I'm in a chill season. I'm like, oh, I'm ready for that. Like, I want that. But I think this has been the past few months. I've talked to my older sister who's in the same season. It's like, I think it's like so much surrender of being like, God, I trust you and I'm frustrated and I want this next, I feel like ready for this next season, but like obviously that hasn't happened yet. So it's like, use me in the season, but also like make it come fast. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like that struggle of like, I'm ready for it. And I feel like it seems like it's time. Why isn't it happening? But just really trusting God and being like, I know that you're going to bring it when it's time. And I feel like there's been so much freedom because I feel like I've struggled with that. Like throughout the years, it's gone in like waves, you know? I think it's how it always goes with girls. Like, I feel good, I feel free. But I'm like, I feel like I finally feel like a release almost. Like I've kind of like opened my hands and being like, I release it. And like, I obviously want this and I'm ready for it. But I'm like, I'm trusting. For some reason, like there's been this shift where I'm like, I trust God's timing. And I really genuinely think that he's going to bring it about when it's time. But doesn't mean it's not hard. Doesn't mean I don't want it. You know what I mean?
No, that's incredible. What do you think about the statement, like when you stop wanting it, that's when it'll come?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Where in the Bible does it say that?
Exactly.
Is what I would say.
I know. Everyone gives all these pieces of advice, and I'm like, exactly, where in the Bible is that from? Like, stop looking, then you'll find it, or it comes when you least expect it, or whatever. I'm just like, or maybe God was I really have been annoyed with recently is when like maybe God needs to like work on you and you need to like grow a lot and then
You're
he'll
just
bring
not,
it.
you must
You're
not be ready.
I'm like, were you ready at 19? Like, no. Like, you were a hot mess at 19.
Were you ready at, when did I get married? 29? No, I wasn't.
Yeah, like I like we're always working and growing, so it's like it makes you feel like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
That one bothers me a lot. But yeah, it's hard.
Talk to that girl for a second.
Yeah,
Who's wondering if something's wrong with her
I
because
think that
people have
nothing's
told
wrong
her.
with you. I know that is the one thing I like reject wholeheartedly because I'm like, yeah, exactly. I think God can do anything and bring it about whenever He wants to, and you're gonna struggle after you get married. You're gonna struggle now.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go through growing seasons, and I think, yeah, be confident that God's timing is everything. Really,
I love that.
yeah.
I feel like so I went through not even a breakup. I was talking to somebody and that ended. And so normally Laura and I joke around of like Nicoletta's so content that she just doesn't even think about it. But in the past few weeks, it has been so heavy on my heart. And that's probably just getting out of something. But it's been this like process with the Lord of just going, okay, God, like I'm 32, still single. I feel like you have really put marriage on my heart. And like just in our conversations, like I really do believe I'm going to be married. What are you doing? And so it was interesting, even driving over here this morning, I was like, Lord, this is a pro tip for whoever's listening. A lot of times in my time with the Lord, I'll say, bring a story from the Bible to mind that relates to my season I'm in currently.
Wow,
I love that.
I
That's a
love
great
that.
prayer.
Yeah.
Because reality is it's rooted in scripture that comes to mind.
Totally.
And it's often the most randomest things too that you're like, that was 100% the Lord because I would not have
You're like,
remembered
I did not
those
think
two
that.
things.
You're like, wow, we in Ezekiel now.
You're like,
Leviticus. I actually was in Leviticus this morning, and I'm telling y'all, it was so amazing. Keep going.
It's so funny.
But two images have come to mind in the last month since doing this exercise. And one of them was, I'm telling you, random. He brought to mind Elizabeth when Mary showed up at her house. And all Elizabeth knew was that she was promised a son that was going to prepare the way for the Messiah. She didn't know how. She didn't know who. She didn't know when. She didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But she waited in expectation with the baby in her womb for what was going to come. So then when Mary walked into the room, she leapt for joy out of like joyful expectation. So first I felt like the Lord was like, I want you to have a joyful expectation about marriage, Nicoletta.
Like
not
knowing
this, like,
it's coming.
Yes, not this gloomy, like it's God gonna do. It's like, no, I want you to joyfully expect. And so then today when I was praying, I felt like the Lord brought to mind Noah, when he was in the boat waiting for the water to descend. And he had just sent the dove out. And he was waiting, and I felt like the Lord
So you're
brought...
talking about after the flood.
After the flood, yep, after the flood. So, like, he was in the boat, everyone had died, the flood had happened, and it was the season of waiting for the water to go down and for them to walk on dry land. And he was sending out birds to, like, see if they could come back with a piece of the branch of a tree to see that there is vegetation happening, that God kept his promise. And so I felt like the Lord brought to mind just Noah sitting in the boat. He had just sent out the dove, but he basically said, my God will finish what he started.
Wow.
And it was this faithful act of going, not worried. God's
you don't have to stress. You don't have to strive.
You don't have to stress. You don't have to strive. And I feel like that's really where the Lord is putting me. And it's so crazy when you recognize that it actually has more to do with, do you trust God than where are you putting yourself in situation to be seen? Are you going to the right parties? Are you going to the right mixers? Are you going to the right churches? No, do you trust God?
Yeah.
That he says he will guide you with your righteous right hand. You don't need to fear. And it's crazy how when you actually, and I'm sure you can understand this, Heather, if we were to look back at our journals, he says things all the time. Don't fear. I've got this. I love you. I'm for you. And then the day comes in. If you have that empty cup.
Yep.
If it's not full.
So true.
Like, God is going to fail me and I'm going to die alone with 80 cats. It's
I have to figure this out now.
Yes.
Go on the
80
apps.
cats. Yes,
No, it's
yes.
so true. You want to take it in your own hands.
Yep.
It's so much more natural to be like, I have to. And you're rushed.
It's crazy though because there's such a spectrum, and I think some people can say I trust God, and what they're actually meaning is like I want to be apathetic. I don't think that I have any part in this. I want to sit at home with my 80 cats every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and no, it's just me trusting God, and it's like no, that's actually you being lazy.
100%.
You know, and then there's the like opposite spectrum where we're like taking control. It's up to me. It's on my shoulders. This will not happen unless I make it happen. And and God can tell you different things in different seasons
100%.
according on what you need. That's why it's not a one size fits all of like you should get on the dating apps. You shouldn't get on the dating apps. You should go to this party. You shouldn't go to this party. It really is, and it can change moment to moment. It's like
100%.
God, what is best for me today? Like what do you have for me today?
What does faithfulness look like for today?
So true. And I think that's why advice from people sometimes it's like, you don't know what God is telling me. And sometimes you should step out in faith and do it. And sometimes it's like, no, he wants you to sit back and just trust.
One of the things I was thinking about as y'all were talking about this, or we were talking about this earlier, if you are the friend that somebody calls constantly to almost like fill their cup or like with their problems, like the first question, kindly, not in a way that's like condescending or like negates their problems, but like, have you prayed about it? You know? Have you prayed about it? Like, what do you feel like God's telling you? You know?
Totally.
From the start. And then that can help them realize, wait a second, I actually haven't. Go pray about it, then call me back.
So true. That's such good piece of advice. Yeah.
What is the best piece of advice you have for young adult women?
I think right now, the best piece of advice probably would be to lean into prayer. I think that's been something that I think we talk about so many different topics, especially as young women, like just I'll get all excited, but I'm like, prayer has been the most powerful thing in my life and something that I've seen like so much change and growth in that I just like, I'm like, it's just like given me that freedom, that trust. And I'm like intentional time where you're sitting in prayer. I think that's like the best piece of advice I would probably give.
What would you say to the girl who says, how do I pray?
I would say
we've been asked this before.
How to
Genuinely.
pray?
Like, I don't know how to pray. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I mean, it's so funny because I was just talking to a girlfriend recently. She's like, you pray like that? Like we had a conversation. We're like, wait, you pray like that? Like it's so funny because you never talk about that kind of thing. Like, how do you do? I was like, oh, I talk to him like throughout the day, like I like pretend that he's in my passenger seat. Like, don't you do that? Like it was so funny. She's like, I have never done that in my life. So I would just say, honestly, like I think getting into like a secret place, like a special place that's like only you and God, that for me has been the best. No phone, like I mean, you can pray to him all the time, and I do, but I'm like that morning time of prayer where it's like intentional, like I'm putting my phone away for 30 minutes, getting in this place and like just sitting there and not just listing out a bunch of things that I want to tell him to do for me or, you know, and those things are also, I do that too. But like, I think just sitting and listening and just like being with him has been the most impactful.
So good.
Can I add one thing to that and we can wrap up? It's something that literally the Lord revealed to me about 2 days ago. I was in Psalm 139, the Passion Translation. If you are listening to this podcast, pause it and go read it. It is such an impactful version of Psalm 139. And basically, it's just the line that we all know, like he knows every single thought before we even have it, but it said it in a unique way. But what the Lord revealed to me in that moment, he was like, why are you not honest 24/7 with me in prayer and just the mundane moments of life? I already know you're thinking it, and I already knew the thought that was next. You can say it out loud.
Wow.
And it was just like, that's true. Like, why am I not just like, yeah, God, I am really overwhelmed right now. Like, this sucks. And he's like, yeah, I know. I knew the thought before you even had the thought.
Yeah.
Why not come to me? And when you read Psalm 139, then you get to see this imagery of a father who delights in you. He knows you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. He literally adores you. And so if you actually recognize God as a God who knows you, he made you, he created you, he desires nothing more than to be with you and hear your thoughts. The thing that I took away from it more was he's like, I already know them and I'm not going to cover you in shame for them. Bring them to me so I can change you.
Yeah.
I can change you in it. You don't need to sit in it.
You don't.
I love it. You know,
So
some people
true.
ask in that, they'll ask like, well, if he already knows, why should I pray? And
Totally.
I'll bring back my daughter as an example because she's going through this phase where she gets scared easily. And I know when she's scared, she'll like kind of, her body will tense up and she's just like, you know, and like I already know she's scared. But when she looks at me and says, Mommy, I'm scared, it tells me something. It tells me that she trusts me.
Yeah.
It tells me that she knows I delight in her and I will protect her.
So
and it
true.
moves my heart towards her. There's a relational aspect of just
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
her saying what I already know.
Wow, yeah.
There's something so special that happens in that moment and we get to connect intimately because she named what she was feeling. And I
Wow.
think there's something powerful about God. Like, yes, he already knows, but when you name it in front of him or just tell him, I don't know what I'm feeling. God, I
Yeah.
don't know. You know, he's just like, I know. Let's talk about it.
Wow, that's such an interesting perspective for like as a parent, because that's what he is. Like that's so true.
Okay, Heather, where can people find you? If they want to follow all your adventures, follow along your single girl journeys,
Oh my
where can
goodness.
people find you?
I'm on Instagram. It's at HeatherM22.
Cool.
Trying to do TikTok these days, but
So exhausting.
not as successful. I avoided it for so long. I was like, should have hopped on this in 2020, but I didn't. So yeah, at HeatherM22 on Instagram is where I post my main things. So
I love it. We'll tag you.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was so fun chatting with you guys.
This is so fun. Friends for life.
I love
Whenever
it.
you're in Dallas, come on, you have a place to
I
stay.
love Dallas. I was just telling her the other. I was like, I'm obsessed with Dallas. So
Okay,
Girl,
I love
come
it.
on.
Yeah.
come
Bring it on,
visit.
sister. There's a lot of friends. But y'all, thank you for listening. Follow Heather. She's amazing. And just, we're grateful. We love to hear from you. If you have a question on DMs, we'll try to get back to you. And as always, we are fully funded by listeners' support. And so if you're sitting here going, man, like, I want to make a difference, your support is literally the only reason that we're in San Diego and having the ability to have video right now. If you ever see a clip on Instagram, that is because somebody has funded it. And I know this might sound silly. Podcasts are a lot of work, and Laura has been putting in so much work to give you guys weekly episodes. And so we just want to say, if we would love to invite you in to pray. Can you pray to financially support Call Her Holy? Because in order to keep this thing getting across the country, we are almost at 1 million downloads, which is crazy. And that is thanks to y'all. And
so amazing.
But truly, would love to invite you into prayer for that. And I get so many DMs. A lot of you keep asking. We do have a Noble Retreat coming October 17th through the 19th in Waco, Texas. If that is not on the website yet, go to the website at areyounoble.com, and it has an inventory form where you can fill out like your name and your email, and we are going to be getting that up in June.
We will link where you can donate, but it's callherholy.com/donate. Or you can email us hello@callherholy.com. Last thing to say is thank you to the Grove Church San Diego
Come on, baby.
for hosting us in this space. You guys are incredible. If you're in the San Diego area, the Grove Church, look them up. Come hang. They have a young adults ministry on Tuesday nights, and y'all will be blessed the same way we have been.
Love it.
You guys are the best. Have a good week.